We generally are focused, like those festivals, we keep it really simple. We also keep it simple pretty much when we're running our field games. We very rarely run advanced missions, right? Very rarely. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward. We are very focused on inclusive. So we like to welcome a wide variety of people to our venue. And we really welcome them and try to cater for them. So I find that works well for us. And the other thing I've got, we mentioned the handicap before, which is good. Just to add something to that. The way we do it, I mentioned this yesterday, is generally if we need to handicap, we do it in two ways. First, we'll, without telling anybody, switch some players on a team to easy mode using the master controller, and they never know you've done it. Now, easy mode is a lot easier, and they will survive a lot longer, right? And they can aim a lot better because the red dot doesn't disappear. So that's one of our little sneaky ways, right? And the other one we do, because we run a standard all the time, right? Like all the time. So you don't start any group on easy, ever. I don't get the young kids, they don't play computer games, they know what reload is. Right? Don't treat them as they're completely stupid. I don't say keep it simple stupid, but there is a beyond stupid. Right? But when you get to a point that you need, that leaves you a little lever up your sleeve, if you need it, to switch some to easy mode, right? Without knowing it, and something they're doing a bit better. Sometimes we've got a regular player around, I'll switch them teams. I'll definitely do that, if they're good. My son is really good at this actually, he hates me for this, but every time the team's struggling, I switch him onto that team. Right? He said, Dad, I lose a lot. But you should see his kill to death ratio. He makes a big difference to that team. Right? So, he said, well, Ben, you're not paying to be here, so you're going to go where I tell you. Right? So, but man, he's a good player. He plays since 4, he's 12 now, so you can imagine. He always says, Dad, you're so slow. How could you not get to him? Yeah, thanks, Ben. I'm a bit slower than you nowadays. And of course, the other thing you can do is modify the respawns. And I mentioned this to the group yesterday, and I think it's important for all of you because it came up today. Look, keep your mission briefings vague. Vague, right? In the sense you don't tell them all the exact mechanics of how it's going to run. Okay, that way you can change the mechanics as you need to make the game work and get a good climax. Don't tell them they're going to receive exactly 10 respawns, right? Tell them they've got limited respawns are available. There are some, right? Or something like that, right? If you look through the games handbook, look at the briefings, you'll see that they're all vague. They tell them what they need to know, but they don't tell them the exact mechanics. That's for us to know. They need to know that, right? Keep it vague, usually. Unless it's a really basic game and it doesn't matter. All right. And the last thing, for mobile, indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter. Look, because we're in the entertainment business, people want value for money. We use timed games for everything, right? Pretty much, and we have timed respawns for practically everything. Right? So, a 15-minute game, there's going to be 14 minutes of respawns or 13 minutes of respawns, just basically locked in time, right? Because no one wants to be out in 1 minute and wait, right? I know for the gamers here, I know more than you could possibly know how unbelievably unrealistic that is, right? I know that. But as an entertainer, I also know that it's no good having people knocked out early. And you also want your games to run to a schedule. People want to be in a schedule. If you advertise you're running a 2-hour session, it needs to pretty much run in 2 hours. It can't run 3 hours. Right? You're going to get real cranky. Okay? So, by having sessions run on time games, guaranteed respawns, you can run it on schedule. So that's important. So, I think really that's pretty much tying up what I wanted to talk about. To try and get an understanding that A, it's a people business, we're going to enable you. And I think the last thing to really add to that enabling bit is really important from my perspective because we're the technology people, obviously. You better be real clear what you wish for in technology. video games are not the same as a live gaming business. Right? They're not the same animal. We had, recently Paul talked to me, he said, I went to a go-kart place, right? Go-kart, on the go-karts. And they were totally fixated on an individual high score. Because in go-karts, all there is a race and who came first and second and third. That's it. That's the product, right? Okay? And so all they can think about, because that's what they do, people tend to relate to what they know, try and make something else the same as what they already know. But truly an expert in an area actually knows what is different, not what's the same. Right? Okay? And we are not a video game. We have things we've drawn from video games which are similar and we've used the terminology, but we're not. And we're not for a number of really important reasons. You've got to get this. It's taken me a little while. Because we're a bit slow in Australia. I look back and go, how dumb were we sometimes? But, look, first, a video game, here how it works. You buy Call of Duty, one of these games. First is, you can play for the next 60 hours against the computer. And no one sees all your failure. Oh, crack the level. First thing. Then, you can graduate and play it, bring in your mates. Now you're pretty good at it, right? You've had some experience. Then you can go online and go to the next level. Okay? You can take a gradient that you're ready for and play people at a level that you're right for. Okay? And you can fail a lot. You can fail a lot in that process. Because when you play a video game, it's going to cost you 10 cents an hour if you play a lot. Really, you buy a game, it might be a $50 to $100 game, but you're going to play for hundreds and hundreds of hours, right? So it actually works out really cheap. That ain't true when they come to your venue. That ain't true. None of those things are true. First, they haven't played hundreds and hundreds of hours to learn how to play beforehand. They've got 8 minutes. That's our briefing time. Right? That's a big difference. Secondly, to make it commercially successful, you need to be getting 50 cents a minute for play. On average. I reckon some of them more, but 50 cents a minute is good industry standard. Right? So if they're getting an hour's play, you better be getting them out $30. Okay? A bit cheaper maybe outdoors, a bit more expensive indoors, indoor space expensive, but you know, in these figures. So, that's a big change. There's also another big change is, they largely haven't chosen who their opponents are. So the grading is different. It's whoever's turned up on the day. Right? So these things are completely different. And if you go, oh, we want to do exactly how the video games do it, you're in for a really sad story for your business. Right? Because it's trying to take something you know and translate it 100% on something you don't know, and that is a very risky thing to do. So yeah, we want to draw on the game, some of the game styles and the terminology, and link us in a marketing sense to computer gaming, right? Because that's all cool, and that's all effective, but you've got to see the differences. For example, we are really, really committed, for example, to having, we don't want individual stats up on a big board. Right? That's a really bad mistake in my opinion. Right? Because young Johnny, whoever comes to the party, if you have boys, I've got a boy, I tell you what, he doesn't take losing real well. No, he doesn't take losing real well. Worst, he doesn't like telling everybody around him how badly he's done. And he certainly doesn't want it on a bloody display, telling everybody at his birthday party how badly he's done. And secondly, following that, it completely kills what we just talked about before, which is rigging the games. If the technology takes over everything and everything's there to see on the bloody board, right? How the hell are you going to... The operators for a long time, I tell you, they rig the games. We've got heard about that. You need to be able to do stuff behind the scenes that no one has to know about to make this a fantastic event. You don't want all that data automatically generated, put up on a scoreboard. I'm telling you, you don't, because it's not like a video game. Right? This is an entertainment centre. And it is different. It is different. Right? And of course, if you do go down that line, you're going to get people who are focused wholly on their stat, not focused on the team, and they're looking for people to shoot, right, just to get their own stat. And that creates a negative culture. And I've prefaced my comments before saying we're about being inclusive. Right? That's not inclusive, that's exclusive. That is the opposite of inclusive. I really believe that we are inclusive. We want people to feel comfortable about playing with us. Right? We want to feel comfortable. So, some people have asked me, I want this, this, and this. I want to upload the stats to this and show them into the world. And I'm telling you, please think about that. Technology can kill you. Right? We are here, it's 80% about people. We just want to enable it to work. Don't take over it.